Hey everyone, it's Lucid. Welcome back. Got a zinger of a turn here for you. For those of you who watched the last episode, you will know that we suffered a huge defeat, and I was bummed out. But it was not too long after suffering defeat that I realized that that defeat was actually going to be my key to victory, and that really me losing that army was the checkmate for Oceania. So long as everything went according to plan and we executed our plan properly, and we went all in, and we did go all in. We didn't mess around. We didn't pull any punches. We committed our god. We committed all our mages in the region. We committed 2,000 gold worth of province defense. We committed 20 something water gems and elemental summons. We committed quite a lot. So now we get to see if it pays off. Did Oceania do the move? And the answer, it turns out, is Oceania did move there. They kind of had to. Now, there were a bunch of things we were speculating on that we did not know. Could Oceania have had even more water gems hidden on a scout for which he could refill all of his mages? Certainly he could not. Not after all of the gems he has already spent and had gem burn in the previous turns. Certainly, that must be impossible. It is not. Oceania's water gems run deep. They've got a lot of water gems, and they're not afraid to use them. Now, so he had run out of Leocampus from the previous fight, but he brought in more. So I was kind of expecting this fight to happen without these and expecting it to happen without the water gems. He's also shifted up the formation. It used to be he had these guys in a line. Now he's got them on flanks, basically. And these guys are looking strong. Look at these guys. All the 2 stars starting to get up. So, and with affliction, with recuperation, they're getting rid of all these afflictions. They're looking real good. Okay, let's look at our side. This is what 62 PD looks like. These are Meteorite Guard, though, that were not part of PD. It's kind of weird how it placed them out here, because I had put them right here in front of the Star Children, so you can see I clearly fucked that part up. And then these guys are back here, and then the Illithids. All right, enjoy. What this fucking... Okay, here we go. Enjoy. Light of a Northern Star. Got him. We got him. All right, now I'm going to commentate. So, the first thing that's really interesting is that these mages, why are they just running forward? I thought they were on advance and cast, but they're not. I think the thing is, and I missed this in all the previous encounters I've had with this army, is that if they were on advance and cast, they'd be self-buffing each other with, bark skin, protection, wasting their fatigue on things other than Water Strike or Web. The problem, though, in this case, is these Leocampus, which normally run very far forward, and they would maybe force the battle to take place here, they've been paralyzed, and then these guys are actually very quick. So the battle takes place actually very close. So they actually run into melee. Now, this wouldn't happen on advance and cast. They would have stopped back here and started casting shit. But the Leocampus also would have been overrun, and these guys would have been hit a little bit later, but maybe they would have been hit at the same time as the Myrmidons. So he's got some water elementals, but we have more. We have a lot more. And furthermore, some of ours have buffs on them. Like this guy's ethereal. Which was our intention. And then our god comes trundling in. Now, our god, I was thinking, would do useful things off script, but so far he's done Winter Ward and Spell Ward. So no, he hasn't done anything useful off script. Spell Ward again. I was hoping he would make water elementals. Butcher's Ledger time. Look at that. What did it cost us? Well, 2,000 gold in PD, so not nothing. But we didn't lose much. And a bunch of water gems. What did it cost Oceania? Everything. Did his god survive? Well, there's no place to retreat. Because our little boys here took out the only retreat route, and we protected, though he didn't attack, all of the potential places he could have likely attacked to open up a retreat route. We took his cap, and yeah, that's basically it. This is actually really interesting. So Agartha has gone on top of Asphodel again and popped it. We don't know where Asphodel's army is, but it's not here, and he's popped it. This is an interesting tactic because Agartha is getting stabbed by like 2 other players now after losing his army. I think they were waiting, but as soon as he lost an army in Asphodel, it was GG for him. Everybody jumped on him. They're fighting over who gets to eat him, actually. So, yeah. So this is kind of interesting because it's going to potentially make Asphodel turn their army around instead of Asphodel eating Agartha, which is great for me. I would love to have somebody eat Agartha other than Asphodel. So this is really good news. Unfortunately, we have 3 Asphodel candles here. We really need to preach this out. It's going to kill this population quite quickly. We had so you remember I was telling you there was this event that looked like a story event, and indeed it was, and then these guys attacked us here. But we had a worldwide event saying the Necromancer's defeated. I don't know if that's going to break this event chain, which is tied to it. I think it does, but it might not. I was going to build a temple here, but because it says the event chain because I think the event chain got broken, I'm going to preach here instead. And there's a chance that preaching will also get rid of the event, so we'll just do it that way. But yeah, okay, so this is going to be fun. We're going to talk about basically what the next steps are, and we're going to start thinking about, like, we're actually going to get to have some agency now in the game where we get to decide things other than to just try to smite those who want to kill us. So that's really nice. It's great having some agency restored. So we have on top of here 240 siege strength worth of things, and we have 99 here. Each of these forts has, let's call it 50. I think it's actually 40 siege defense, but 50 maybe counting a few troops. So basically here we've done 50 damage, and here we've done about 200 damage. And so I want to pop all the forts next turn and be done with this war. So we're moving enough on here that this should one turn pop it just by itself. And then but we haven't done much damage. We've only done 50 damage. So we actually will this is the perfect amount to send. And then on top of Oceania, by the way, both of these forts are 300. What's actually interesting is if you build the fort manually, if you don't use the nature gem one, which I think Oceania has to make kelp fortresses, these ones have 500 wall integrity, but the ones that I think they fast produce, I think have 300. Anyhow, the cap also has 300. So we've done about 200 damage on the cap, which means we only have 100 left to do, but we're going to be putting 200 on top. So we'll have a pretty good clearance margin to have popped both of those. Now, my plan for storming is pretty much the same as we've done before, but there may be water elementals. So I'm going to make sure we have water elementals of our own. We're going to be doing 2 water elemental summons. And yeah, and then we're going to here be doing 2 water elemental summons and removing a bunch of is to do body ethereal and stuff. We might be able to get away without doing it, but I'm not going to take any chances. We want to get this war over with now. And it's great that we're going to have the ability to fully pop both forts next turn. I don't think there's anything inside. Maybe there's 2 or 3 sirens between the whole thing, and maybe there's a Capricorn. But there's going to be essentially nothing here. Then, yeah. The other fort we're going to be going after is here, where we're moving these guys on top. This will actually be the harder fort to take, I think, of the 3 we're going after next turn, because we should also pop this one next turn. This will be harder to take because there's archers and we could potentially lose mages. So We actually probably should have this guy site search, I think. Then we'll have these guys go up here. Yeah, there's just a pretty good chance we lose some mages. I'm still going to send mages in. I want to have body ethereal on the illithids. So even if we lose a couple mages, I just want to take this and make sure we're done with it. So yeah, I think that's basically it for the movements of the turn. We are trying to get some site searching going. So we're site searching Glamour here. We're site searching with our god. We're next turn we won't have it, but next turn I think we'll teleport our god back home, and then the turn he gets there, we should have Gift of Reason, so we can Gift of Reason this guy. So that's how that will work out. But we're site searching with him this turn, and then this guy's coming over here to pick up these illithids who scattered from that horrific defeat we had. We're doing a bunch of things. We're trying to get our Dominion out here, which is going to involve making a bunch of these slave priests, and that's going to involve making a temple. So we'll make a temple, and then we'll start popping out maybe like 4 slave priests, and convert this province in particular, and then we'll send these underwater and get some Dominion there. But yeah, otherwise we're just humming along here. I would like to make more slave mages. Like here we also have half a slave mage we could make. But we're a little stretched for gold because we're still building infrastructure out. Like we did start a fort here this turn, or upgrading this. And, we're upgrading this, or putting a temple down. Yes, we actually haven't put a temple down yet. I'm taking the opportunity this turn to build temples elsewhere. And we're patrolling because there's a lot of unrest. And I think getting the unrest out is going to be a bit more important than getting our candles here. The other thing is, preaching or a temple is not really going to matter much because it's enemy dominion. And as soon as we storm this fort, then all the enemy dominion is going to disappear. So we're not really building the temple early doesn't really matter. So I think that's about it. The other thing we're doing is we're sending this guy, Azog. We'll rename him. How about we rename him in honor of our fallen homie? Let's see. Bernard. Yeah, so this guy's pretty cool. It's pretty useful. Astral 4, this is going to be able to site search for... There's actually a fair number of Astral 4 sites, so these guys are pretty valuable for site searching. And then Earth is really good. I'll show you the script we're doing with him. Earth Power, Iron Skin, Body Ethereal, Quicken Self, Temper Flesh Attack. And he's got this Life Steal attack, so he'll be able to work his way through encumbrance he gets. But yeah, I think that should work pretty good. I mean, we could also have done, like, Grip of Winter or something. I just don't think there's going to be that much PD there. So, yeah, I fully expect that to work. Then... But yeah, I mean, there's a chance we lose a cap-only mage and some gear. It could be risky. We're trading some gems with Ashdod. He wants Glamour, so we're sending him Glamour. We also signed a non-aggression pact with Satis. I actually want Satis to feel comfortable making a move. I'm a little worried that Nidavangar starts going ham. I'm a little worried they throne rush. Satis also took another throne this turn. So it'll be interesting to see what thrones get taken. Actually, yeah, we talked about this a bit last time, but I'm not sure which ones are still available. Throne of Gay and the Throne of Life are the ones I want. But that actually brings us to the next thing, which is our next main mission is taking these out. So as soon as we storm here, I think we bring the main army maybe up here to fight this and combine with this army and then take this out. That will also give us the option, if we want to try to put Asphodel out of the game, because the army we use to take this could very possibly kill Asphodel. I'm not sure if we want to do that. Asphodel, I like Kirby a lot, but he is playing Asphodel. So, I'm not very excited about them existing. Certainly is my neighbor. And then this throne, I actually need to ping it. I've kind of been being a little bit of a bitch about it, though, because there's wyverns. I don't really want to send somebody to die. There's not really a way around it, sadly. Actually, we can... Oh, no, I think this has already been site search for Rlyeh. The other really cool thing was the Oceania player. They said good game and stuff to everybody. And I sent them a note. I was like, hey, can you tell me site searching? And they did. I'll pull that up and we'll go through what they said has been site searched. Okay, so this province has just been site searched for water and nature. So there's basically not going to be a lot of value in site searching nature here, which is something I, had been trying to do, but I don't think is actually going to pay off very much. We'll actually see what's been site searched here. Maybe a waste of my god to site search here as well. So we'll actually put this guy on defend. We'll make up that decision in a second. So this has been site searched water 3, nature 4. Okay, and then the kelp forest. Where's that? No, sorry, this one. This has been site searched water 2, nature 3, holy 2. And then the next one is the darks, and this has also been site searched water 2, nature 3, holy 2. Okay, and then Lake Vastness, which is this one. This has been site searched water and nature, but no earth. And then the Gulf of Justice, which is the Gulf of Justice. This one. This one has been site searched also for earth. So it's water, nature, holy, and earth. All right, and then the Sea of Mermaids, this has been site searched for water, nature, holy. And then the Forgotten Gulf, which is this one, this has been site searched just nature and... Who do I have going here? This guy. Yeah, just nature and holy. This was like just a hierophant that site searched. The Flooding Lagoon, which is this one that we're in, it has been site searched water 2, nature 1, no astral, but glamour 2. So actually this one we don't need to site search because this one's already glamour 2. The nature, really for our god, I don't think it's worth it actually. I think we just have him research. We would site search higher. No, maybe we site search this because we need to site search astral, and then this guy's already had glamour site search. So we'll site search with our god. We won't site search with this guy. And then this guy, I was going to move over here to the Forgotten Gulf, which does not have glamour site search, so that's good. There's one more place I think I was glamour site searched, and that's here. And this has been site searched for air 1, glamour 1, and water 1, or maybe glamour 2. Yeah, glamour 2. So basically, there's been hardly any glamour site searching except for these 2 provinces. Everything else has been site searched for pretty much water and nature. And then there's one, I think this one was maybe the only one that had earth. So almost no earth site searching. So I think we're going to just need to blanket the whole thing with Voice of Tiamat. That's basically what I'm thinking. So that was super nice of them to share that with me. Of course, they don't have to. And that's one of the benefits of just being nice to the people you're fighting with. In this case, even though they were 2v1ing me, I'm trying to reform and be less salty when I get 2v1'd. I think I'd probably still be a little salty if I got 3v1, because 3v1's, especially 3v1 later in the game when you're getting coalition because you deserve it, is one thing. But 3v1 early, like for a first war, is really shitty. It's also not really good for the other 2 players because there's not much to split. But it's also not fun playing against. Unless you're pop kill. It's okay if you get 3v1 if you're pop kill. These are my own personal rules. Not like you have to abide by them, but anyway. So yeah, there's one of the benefits of like having a good relationship or being nice and kind to the people you're fighting with is that, hey, when the war's over, they'll tell you where they site search stuff. So it's super friendly of them. And, definitely will write that in my good book of kind deeds from that player. So yeah, that's basically it for the actions of the turn. What are our plans now? Our first plan is we need to site search. We've done a decent job in some places, but we're going to try to do even better. We're casting Eyes of God here with Cthulhu. Cthulhu is a huge badass, and the reason we're doing it on him instead of my god is mostly because my god's going to site search this turn. Yeah, I think this makes sense. We'll have him site search here this turn, and then we'll have Cthulhu do it. Also, technically, they can wish to kill my god. Both of these guys have recuperation, so the blinding you get when they take it down isn't a big deal. But this is going to be huge. This is going to show the graphs. I had told you what I thought the graphs would be last episode, so I won't do that again. But yeah, we'll find out what it actually is. And I think most importantly for me, this is the reason I really want to control it, is I want to see who's getting close to throne rushing. Because I potentially might attack Nidavangar, I potentially might attack Ashdod, and I potentially might attack Asphodel. But we've made a nap with Satis. Satis is the one person I'm pretty sure we won't. But if I see that Satis gets these 2 thrones too, so they get up to 4 or something like that, then I'll probably end my non-aggression pact with Satis. So this is going to be, and we don't have a lot of scouts. Part of it is just because I don't have any places to build scouts. I wonder if that's changed at all now that I've taken the whole underwater system. Like non-fort scouts. Here we can do it on land, but it's a fort. I want to make mages. Here I can do it Beatra. It would make sense to make scouts here. Let's get some scouts out. I don't want to make too many. Like, we're going to mass produce them for a bit, but we're not going to mass produce them forever. Just scrolling through. By the way, the hotkeys here are X. So hotkeys tab are to expose all the commanders. And then X exposes the recruitment list for all your provinces. This is the F1 screen, if you were curious. So, yeah, I guess technically Azad is a scout. But yeah, so yeah, I don't really have any other scouts. We have one scout province that I can see. It's possible I missed some. So anyway, we'll get these and look over here. I want to ping this. Maybe I should just go ahead and do it, not be a bitch. Okay, let's do it. Well, this guy's going to die, but I just want to see what's here. This one we're going to send an army up, but this one I want to see if I can thug. I probably should also try to ping this one. Are there flyers here? No. So I should be able to safely ping this. I wish this guy could come up here, but he can't. This guy was coming back. What's his morale? 13? Okay, let's just have this guy retreat. Technically, he's more expensive than a slave priest, but I don't really have one of those around, and we probably need the slave priest we have around here. So we'll just take a look and see what these are. No, we're going to do this. We're going to do it later. I don't want to give away what this is to anybody else who has a scout here. It's basically what I'm thinking. But because Asphodel is going to be very tied up in wars, probably fighting Agartha and then fighting whoever eats Agartha, I probably have some time to get these thrones, assuming Ashdod doesn't get them. So, yep. So yeah, I think we're basically going to have a really good situation. I think, depending on how score graphs come out, the thing I'm really worried about is somebody else throne rushing where I don't have a lot of agency to stop it. I'm not really worried about getting attacked anymore. Certainly, if all the land neighbors attacked me, that would be really annoying to me. But I think it would be futile for them. Like, I don't think if all of them attacked me, Asphodel, if they got bigger, could certainly put a big zinger on me. But like Satis sending Long Dead and stuff underwater would not be a problem, I don't think. Nidavangur can send... I mean, these are all death nations, so they can send Long Dead and stuff underwater. But that's the sort of thing Rlyeh can actually fight really well. So yeah, I think our main job now is to like power up really hard, really fast, do a lot of site searching, do a lot of research, and see if we can get both of these thrones. That's our goal, get both of these thrones. And then we're going to be probing for weakness and seeing who to attack next. And not necessarily weakness, because we might go after the highest position neighbor we have. But we may also go after somebody weak. We're just going to play it out. We're not committed to any course of action. Yeah, but right now my spidey senses are saying Nidavangur is the one I have to watch out for. And that they're going to throne rush. That's what my spidey senses say. So we'll see what that actually means. Which one? I think Nidavangur is here. And this is Iru. Yeah, this is Iru. This is Nidavangur. But yeah, we're not going to stop recruiting units. We're going to keep spamming out units the whole time. I might even go back and record the national overview again. I think one of the things I really appreciated is that how much better these guys are per gold. Or not per gold. I don't know. They're way better against water elementals compared to Meteorite Guard and Melee. So like these guys have a nice magic attack, does a lot of damage. 22, and they have a bit more protection. 19 versus 17, but that doesn't matter much against water elementals. These guys do have worse defense, which is kind of pretty bad. But these guys don't have great defense. So these guys have 2 less defense. But this blunt resistance goes a long way. So if you're not doing wave warriors on your guys, then I feel like this is... like, you get a lot here. They hit a bit harder, so they're going to burn through the forms faster. More hit points, the blunt resistance. These guys with ethereal on them can hold out versus water elementals for a pretty long time. And then these guys with quickness, which brings us up to 9, and Water Ward, which brings it up to 14. Well, that helps, but it's not going to help as much. These guys with Water Ward would actually be pretty good. Water Ward and Quickness. I don't know. I do think I slept a bit on how nice this blunt resistance tag is in water elemental battles. Like, it's really nice. That's all I was really trying to say. So yeah, we're getting. Oh, this is the other thing I have to take this province. I don't think the guy teleporting here can take this, but he's going to teleport here in Sight Search, and then the next turn we're going to take all the siege chaff. While he's sight searching, we're going to take the siege chaff and move it here, so that the siege chaff can come and help him underground here. That's basically my plan. I don't know if it's going to work. But yeah. One thing I do have to be a bit careful of with using these guys as thugs, there is one issue, which is that they don't tend to have great morale, and we don't have good defense. So we're going to get harassed. We're going to get repelled a ton. You basically have to have a morale item on them. But I thought about just giving them like a hammer or something that's longer. But then I lose the lifesteal. It would definitely be better against the undead. This would be better. But you can say it's a horrible attack. This is a bit better, 11 attack. But I think it's probably better to have the lifesteal. Yeah. We'll see. I think we're going to do it with... I mean, there's a chance we run, but I think it's pretty unlikely we die. We're going to have a lot of buffs on. But he definitely can't, I don't think... He certainly can't, without a longer weapon, take the undead. But then we don't get the fatigue regeneration. So we'll just see what happens. We also had a thing. We were summoning. The summoning was unsuccessful, meaning we got... Oh, no, this wasn't the summoning. This was our boy in the void. Hit him with an arcane bolt. There's still a small chance he pops into the lake. We're really... I mean, he's effectively dead, but we get to watch him die slow motion with the small, glimmering, tiny, fractal shard of a hope that he might come back and come back to us. But yeah, Summoner 3 is powering up. We're already at summoning level 5. So hopefully that gets a little bit better. It would be nice to put items on them. We'll talk a little bit about research. Storm 5 is going to be 2 turns away. If we were to focus on researching instead of like moving all our mages onto the fort, we could probably get it this turn or almost this turn. But we're committing. Maybe a bit to our detriment, but we're going to be safe. And then Construction 2, Construction 3, this will open up. I wonder if this gets us Hand of Acorns. Let me see what level that's at. Yeah, so this will give us Handful of Acorns, which is going to be really nice for the assassin battles that we're having. It's also going to be nice to have a few of those because we have assassins. So that's just a really good thing for us to have. And we have a ton of nature income. So just making those is going to be really nice. We're also we can also empower somebody in Earth. So we'll have to figure out who we do that with. Let's take a look at this real quick. We'll brainstorm that super quickly. Probably wants to be an Earth random of these. I don't think there's a ton of Earth glamour. Glamour nature is interesting because that sort of opens up fairy queens, but that's not related to Earth empowering. You know, we could empower our god, which would be interesting. Like our god would be really good with Earth, but that doesn't get us Earth 2. And we want Earth 2 to start making Earth boots. So I think our first Earth Empower... Let's not do it with somebody on the front line. Who would it be? I think Phi Astral, like somebody like Bernard here. Because that way we can do some of the crystal... Or the meteorite gear, I guess is what it's called now. So yeah, we'll probably empower Bernard or somebody like Bernard. We'll also be able to make a new prophet soon. I'm not sure what we do for that. We may do this guy so that we can keep using formations and then load them up with better leadership gear. Like magic leadership in particular. I think that's about it. Yeah. So basically, we're going to be looking at who we're going to fight. We're going to be doing a lot of powering up. We're going to be trying to get these thrones, and then hopefully there's no issue storming any of these last 3 forts. And yeah, if all that goes well, we're going to go through like a very powerful kind of turtling phase now, Or I'm going to try to, oh, that's the other thing is I really need to get my Dominion spread. We're going to try to get Dominion spread. We're going to try to site search. We're going to try to get rid of unrest. We're going to get temples built, and we're going to try to get control of 2 thrones while at the same time making sure we don't miss out on any opportunities. But we're not going to be proactively looking for war. We're really just going to be sensing if we need to. So yeah, I think that's it. And hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. This has been a pretty wild ride for me. I was hoping with this build I could survive a 2v1. I don't think I realized that, I mean, the Yisk player sort of gave up once they were dead. They could have put in a bit more effort to just extract maybe like a little bit more of a pound of flesh. But they couldn't have turned it around. Like by the time they gave up, like once they lost these 2 big battles here and here, and then I went on top of their cap, they were toast. Like the second I was on top of their cap, there literally was nothing they were really going to be able to do. They might have been able to do a tiny bit more damage, but maybe they could have made taking the forts a little bit harder, you know? But they didn't really have anything. So, but yeah, and then we've finally now defeated the Brain Trust of Oceania. So, just has been really satisfying. This was it's really good to win a 2v1 for the first war. And I tend to do pretty good diplomacy, so I don't normally find myself in a 2v1. And I almost wiggled my way out of this one, but wasn't able to. So, yeah. It's not often we have such an exciting opening that I handle so well. I think the other thing, too, is a lot of times if you start winning a 2v1, a lot of times a third person attacks you or something, too. And that's a nice thing with this underwater bowl is that it was limited to a 2v1. It wasn't like, oh, God, he's winning the 2v1. Now somebody else is going to attack you. So it's kind of special in that way. Like you feel like, okay, we actually did this hard thing and we got a prize, and the prize is actually pretty good. Whereas a lot of times you fight off a 2v1 and you're the same size as everybody else, even if you win both sides. So because somebody attacks you or vultures or wants something or another. So it's a really interesting start to the game. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.